Have you ever felt that your emotions are controlling you rather than you controlling them? Have you ever wondered why small things in life, like someone's words, a failure, or even an unexpected change, can completely disturb your peace of mind? Think about this. A person walking in heavy rain without an umbrella gets wet, yet he smiles and continues walking, while another shouts in anger at the same situation. The rain is the same, but the emotions are different. This small example shows us how much power emotions hold over us, and how freeing life can become when we learn not to be prisoners of them. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, a space where we dive deep into life's truths and uncover paths to inner freedom. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. By doing that, you will stay connected to this journey of wisdom and transformation, and you will help build a community where peace and clarity are valued above all. In today's beginning, let us enter the heart of Buddhism to discover what it really means to become emotionless in life. Emotionless does not mean cold, lifeless, or without care. Instead, it means learning to stop being shaken by emotional storms. In Buddhism, emotions are seen as clouds passing in the sky, temporary and ever-changing. The problem is not the clouds, but our attachment to them. Buddha often taught that suffering arises when we cling, when we attach to joy or anger, to praise or blame, when we run after happiness desperately, or when we reject sadness violently. We remain trapped. But becoming emotionless, in the Buddhist sense, means learning to stand steady like the mountain that does not sway even though winds come and go. This path invites us to live beyond the pull of excitement and despair, beyond the trap of being overly happy one day and deeply broken the next. Think of how much energy is lost when you ride this emotional wave daily. By practicing detachment and awareness, we free this energy and turn it toward wisdom and peace. Buddhism does not ask us to destroy emotions, but to understand them. Once we understand, they lose their power. Imagine sitting calmly as anger rises, not suppressing it, not feeding it, just watching. Slowly, the anger weakens, and in its place arrives peace. This is the doorway to becoming truly emotionless in the sense of being free. In the quiet corners of life, there lies a profound teaching from the heart of Buddhism that speaks directly to our deepest struggles. The struggle with suffering and desire. Imagine for a moment that you are carrying a heavy bag wherever you go. This bag is filled not with stones or books, but with desires and disappointments. Every hope unfulfilled, every craving unsatisfied, every moment of pain folded into this bag adds weight. It grows heavier as days pass. This bag is suffering. It is the burden many carry without realizing it. Buddha, the great teacher, observed the world with tender eyes and saw that suffering is a natural part of existence. Not because life is cruel, but because our minds grasp and hold too tightly. We crave pleasure, love, approval. We want to avoid pain, rejection, loss. This craving is the root of our suffering. When the things we desire slip away, or when we face what we fear, we feel pain deeply, as if the world has betrayed us. But what if we could gently put down this bag? What if we could see desire and suffering as clouds passing, not storms that drown us? Buddhism invites us to understand that suffering is not a punishment, nor an enemy to fight fiercely. It is a teacher, whispering the truth that clinging creates pain. When we loosen our grip, we begin to breathe more freely. Desire is like a fire that we think will warm us forever, but it burns quickly. Each time we light this fire, hoping for lasting warmth, we only end up with ashes. Buddha showed that by seeing clearly how desire deceives us, We can choose to stop feeding this fire and instead cultivate a calm mind. This does not mean becoming cold or unfeeling. On the contrary, it means feeling fully but without being overwhelmed. A wise person watches their emotions as a still lake watches the ripples created by the wind. The ripples come and go, but the lake remains calm beneath. Suffering is often misunderstood. People believe that more comfort, more success, or more control will erase their pain. Yet, the deeper understanding offered by Buddhism is that suffering is inevitable as long as we are trapped in desire and attachment. This insight is not meant to discourage, but to liberate. Imagine a garden where the flowers bloom beautifully, but also wither. The gardener does not cling desperately to the bloom, nor does he ignore the fading petals. He knows this cycle is natural. In the same way, Buddhist teachings encourage us to notice the bloom of our emotions and the fading, without clutching or rejecting either. This wisdom invites us into a relationship with life, where peace is not dependent on external things. When a storm comes, the house may shake, but the earth beneath remains firm and unmoved. We find our earth in mindfulness and acceptance, two great pillars of Buddhist practice. Mindfulness teaches us to be present, to watch our desires and sufferings without being pulled inside their storm. Acceptance does not mean giving up, but rather acknowledging reality as it is, without fighting or denying it. In this dance of awareness and acceptance, anger softens, fear loses its edge, and joy becomes gentle rather than frantic. This process of letting go is gradual and kind. It's a path walked step by step. At first, our desires may roar louder as if fighting for survival. Yet, as we turn our attention inward with compassion, they quiet down. The heavy bag feels lighter each day until finally, we realize we have been free all along. We just needed to stop carrying what was not ours. Buddhism offers tools to help us on this path. Meditation is one such tool. It is not about escaping emotions, but about meeting them with a calm mind. With practice, we learn to sit quietly as waves of emotion rise and fall, not drowning, not resisting, but flowing naturally. There is also the practice of wise reflection, seeing clearly how our attachments create suffering. When we become honest with ourselves, we begin to choose differently. Instead of chasing endless desires, we seek understanding. Instead of running from pain, we learn to face it with courage. The power of this teaching is its simplicity. It does not ask for grand changes overnight, but invites a gentle, unfolding change. Like the steady drip of water shaping stone, this wisdom shapes the mind and heart over time. As we embrace the truth of suffering and desire, we begin to live more fully in each moment. Freed from the chains of craving, we find joy not as a fleeting emotion, but as a steady light. This joy is not the absence of sadness, but the embrace of life as it is, imperfect, fleeting, beautiful. This is the heart of the Buddhist view on suffering and desire. Acknowledge the pain without becoming it, hold the joy without grasping it, and walk the path of peace with open hands and a calm heart. The journey is not about becoming emotionless in the sense of being numb, but becoming free from the heavy weight of uncontrolled emotions. It is about discovering the quiet strength within that no suffering can take away. Such freedom is the gift of understanding. The light that comes after the night of suffering is not a distant dream, but a reality waiting patiently within each of us, ready to be awakened through gentle wisdom and compassionate awareness. The bag of desires we once carried can be set down, and in that setting down, we find the true treasure, peace. In the flow of life, everything we see, touch, and experience is in constant change. This is one of the gentlest yet deepest lessons that Buddhism gifts to every seeker. The truth of impermanence. Imagine a river flowing gently or fiercely all the time. The water you touch now is not the same water a second later. Life is much like that river. Nothing stays still or fixed for long. A joyful moment fades, a pain softens, a smile vanishes, and even the mountains erode over millennia. Understanding this simple truth can change the way we live with our emotions and attachments. Many times, suffering comes from trying to hold on to things that are always changing. We want a relationship, a mood, a success, or even a moment to last forever. But like leaves blown by the wind, these things drift away despite our grip. This is why attachment, the desire to keep what we love forever, is a source of sorrow. Buddhism teaches that seeing and accepting impermanence helps us become free from this trap. It is like waking up from a deep sleep where we believe things would never change. When we fully see that all things, feelings, people, situations, are temporary, our hold on them loosens gently. This is not about giving up caring or love. It is about loving without binding, wanting without clinging. It is natural for the heart to resist change. The mind often whispers, "Hold on, don't let go." But wisdom asks us to look closely and notice how holding on tightly only creates more pain. Like trying to grasp water in your hand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips away. But if you open your hand gently, the water flows smoothly and naturally. Buddha called this truth anicca, which means impermanence. He showed how every breath we take, every thought, every moment comes and goes. Nothing is fixed, no feeling stays forever, no situation remains unchanged. This idea is not meant to make us sad or hopeless, but to bring peace. A peace that arises when we stop fighting the river and start floating with it. When we understand impermanence deeply, we begin to see emotions differently. Instead of fear or anger feeling like mountains blocking our path, they become waves we can ride. They come, rise, fall, and vanish. This changes the way we respond to life's ups and downs. The tight knot of anxiety loosens, and the storm of sadness calms. Practicing this awareness in daily life can be simple yet profound. When a strong emotion arises, whether joy, anger, or sadness, rather than getting lost in it or trying to push it away, we pause and remind ourselves gently, this feeling will change. This small act of recognition starts to free us. The emotion is no longer a chain, but a passing visitor. This teaching also applies to our ideas about ourselves. Our sense of I or me feels solid and real, but it too is always changing, body, thoughts, and feelings alive and shifting moment by moment. When we see this clearly, the rigid sense of self softens, and with it, the pain tied to self-judgment and comparison eases. Living with the awareness of impermanence encourages us to cherish the present moment deeply. When we know that today's smile or conversation may not last forever, we savor it fully. This appreciation brings a sweetness to life that neither clinging nor fear can offer. It is important to note that impermanence is not only about loss. It is also about possibility. Because things are never fixed, change is always possible too. A difficult feeling can transform. A broken heart can heal. A dark night can turn into dawn. This awareness invites hope and kindness to yourself as you walk your unique path. Buddhist practice helps us build this understanding step by step. Meditation, for example, trains the mind to watch clearly the arising and passing away of thoughts and sensations. This simple observing shifts us from reacting to emotions to witnessing them. Witnessing creates space, and space is the birthplace of freedom. There are times when life's changes feel overwhelming or frightening. In these moments, the practice of compassion is vital. compassion for yourself when you struggle, and compassion for others caught in their own rivers of change. This heart-opening love does not deny impermanence, but embraces it deeply with warmth. The wisdom of impermanence also guides our actions. Knowing that life is short and uncertain, we grow more courageous in how we live. We focus on kindness, truth, and meaning rather than chasing endless desires that never satisfy. This shift directs our energy toward what truly matters. Many have found peace by simply repeating the truth of impermanence to themselves in moments of hardship. This too shall pass. This gentle reminder has the power to ease anxiety and bring calm. It's like a soft breath catching a flame before it spreads too wide. Remember, becoming emotionless in life through understanding impermanence is not about shutting down feelings. Rather, it's about meeting every emotion with clear sight and a steady heart. Imagine a tree bending gracefully in a storm instead of breaking. This flexibility comes from knowing that the storm will end. In daily life, this wisdom makes ordinary moments shine. Morning sunlight, a shared laugh, the taste of food. Each precious because it will not last. When emotions surface, we acknowledge them without panic or clinging. We allow them to flow, trusting the natural rhythm of life. This way of living brings a gentle strength, a quiet resilience that can face any sorrow or joy without losing balance. It is a freedom that no external circumstance can take away, because it is rooted deep inside. Walking this path requires patience and kindness. The mind often returns to old habits of grabbing, pushing, or running away. But with each return, with each gentle reminder of impermanence, the path becomes clearer. In time, the river of life no longer feels like a challenge, but a dance. We find ourselves moving with grace, resting in the knowledge that nothing clings forever, and peace is found not outside but within. This transformative insight is one of the treasures Buddhism offers, a light that guides through change, sorrow, and joy alike. As we meditate on impermanence, may we all come to know the warmth of a heart freed from the storms of attachment, resting in the gentle flow of life. In the vast garden of the mind, there grows a silent flower called mindfulness. This simple presence is one of the most powerful tools on the path to becoming emotionless. Not in the sense of being cold or distant, but in the sense of being deeply peaceful and free. Mindfulness is like a gentle light illuminating the dark corners of the heart where confusion and pain often hide. It is the art of paying attention, with kindness and without judgment, to whatever arises within us. Imagine standing by a riverbank, watching the water flow by. Each thought, feeling, or sensation is like a leaf carried on the river's surface. With mindfulness, we do not try to catch the leaves or push them away. We simply watch them pass. This watching itself creates a space where the mind can rest, unburdened by chasing or fleeing from emotions. Many of us live caught in the whirlwind of our feelings, ruminating on past pains, worrying about future troubles, or being swept away by the excitement of joyful moments. The mind becomes a storm, restless and chaotic. Mindfulness invites us to step out of this storm and find the calm eye within. This practice is not about forcing the mind to be quiet. It's more like training a wild horse with patience, gentleness, and repeated effort. At first, the mind resists. Thoughts jump and emotions surge. But with steady practice, a new kind of inner silence begins to appear. Not the absence of feelings, but the absence of being controlled by them. Through mindfulness, we learn to notice what is happening inside us as it happens. We observe a wave of anger or sadness or joy, but without getting entangled. We see the rise and fall, the movement and change. This witnessing shifts us from being swept away by emotions to being a calm witness of them. Buddha taught mindfulness as a way to know the present moment deeply. Instead of living in regrets or hopes, we learn to live fully now. When an emotion like fear or grief arises, mindfulness allows us to meet it with an open heart, not with resistance or avoidance. This meeting is transformative. When fear is met with awareness, it loses its power to pull and paralyze us. When grief is held gently by mindfulness, it softens and flows instead of hardening into despair. Joy, too, becomes richer and more peaceful when observed mindfully. Not flashy or grasped, but deeply felt and cherished. Mindfulness also encourages us to observe the body. Our physical sensations are closely linked with our emotional states. For example, tightness in the chest often comes with anxiety, a heavy weight on the shoulders with sadness, warmth in the heart with love. By paying attention to the body's messages, we begin to understand our emotions more clearly. Understanding emotions through the body helps us respond with kindness rather than reaction. Instead of pushing away discomfort or chasing after pleasure, we learn to stay present, even in difficulty. This skill frees us from the exhausting cycle of emotional highs and lows. The gentle practice of returning again and again to the present moment creates a sacred habit. Like watering a small seed daily, mindfulness nurtures a new way of being. Slowly, the tree of equanimity grows, strong and steady, able to hold the sunshine and the storm without breaking. This inner steadiness is what Buddhism calls sati, mindfulness in its purest form. It is the heart of emotional freedom. It does not numb feelings, but changes our relationship with them. Emotions become visitors rather than captors. Daily life gives us many opportunities to practice mindfulness. It can be as simple as feeling each breath, noticing the colors around us, or paying close attention to the taste of food. These small acts anchor us in the present, where peace is found. When we bring mindfulness to our emotions, misunderstandings fade. We stop labeling feelings as good or bad, and instead see them simply as messages from life. This wisdom softens our judgments against ourselves and others. Mindfulness practices also connect us deeply to our true nature. Beneath the ever-changing emotions lies a vast space of calm and clarity. As we deepen our practice, this space becomes more apparent. It is like waking up to a sunny sky after a long night of clouds. This awakening is gentle yet powerful. It does not erase the difficulties of life, but it changes how we meet them. We become like a tree rooted deeply in the earth, flexible in the wind, but unshaken at the core. The journey of mindfulness is not always easy. The mind often pulls us back into old habits, worry, distraction, judgment. But each return to mindful awareness is a victory. It is a step toward lasting peace. In this ongoing practice, we discover patience and kindness grow naturally. We learn not to beat ourselves for feeling strong emotions or losing focus, but to welcome ourselves warmly, with the same compassion we would offer a dear friend. Mindfulness also helps us understand others better. When we watch our own hearts with tenderness, it opens the door to empathy. We see that all beings carry their own storms and joys. This awareness softens anger and builds bridges of understanding. As mindfulness becomes a guiding light, it reveals the beautiful truth that emotions are like waves in the ocean, sometimes calm, sometimes wild, but the ocean itself remains vast and unshaken. This vastness is our true self beneath the surface of changing feelings. This truth does not separate us from life, but invites us to engage more fully and fearlessly, to live without being swept away, to to love without owning, to be free without losing sensitivity or warmth. Through mindfulness, the heart expands and the soul breathes. Emotions flow naturally through us, but they do not control us. This freedom is the gift of awareness, the treasure of quiet presence. As we sail through life's many waters, mindfulness is our steady boat, our calm anchor. It allows us to meet each wave with courage, each breeze with gratitude, and every drop of rain with peace. This path leads us not to emptiness in the harsh sense, but to a fullness that surpasses all emotion. A deep well of serenity where the storms of feeling pass by like shadows, leaving behind undisturbed light. The simple power of watching, of being present, is a doorway open to all who seek peace. In this presence we rest. In this rest we grow. And in this growth we find the true meaning of becoming free, becoming truly emotionless in the richest sense. A gentle heart that embraces life without being overwhelmed. Here, in this quiet and warm space, the journey continues, step by step, breath by breath, toward a life lived fully, freely, and with deep, unshakable peace. In the stillness of the present moment, there lies a profound truth that Buddhism calls emptiness. This word may seem empty when you first hear it, but it holds a beautiful meaning that can transform how we experience emotions and life itself. Emptiness does not mean nothingness or void in a cold, dark sense. Rather, it means that everything is connected and nothing exists independently on its own. It is the gentle understanding that all things, our feelings, thoughts, people, and even ourselves, are woven together in an ever-changing dance of life. Imagine a delicate spider's web glistening with morning dew. Each drop of water shines, reflecting the sunlight, but none exist alone. Each drop is part of the intricate web, connected and dependent on every strand. In the same way, our emotions and experiences are not separate islands, but threads in the vast web of existence. When we grasp this, the weight of our feelings softens. We begin to see that emotions are not fixed things that define us, but momentary points within a flowing tapestry. Many of us suffer because we cling tightly to our feelings as if they are permanent and solid. We say, "I am angry," or "I am sad," as if these emotions are our unchanging identities. Buddhism teaches us to look more deeply and realize that these states arise and pass away, influenced by countless causes and conditions. This insight reveals the emptiness of emotions, not to deny their reality, but to free ourselves from being trapped by them. When we understand emptiness, we start to see beyond the labels and judgments that our minds place on emotions. Anger is no longer the enemy. Fear no longer has to silence us. Joy does not need to be grasped desperately. We begin to relate to emotions like clouds in the sky. They come and go, sometimes dark and heavy, sometimes light and radiant, but always passing through. This understanding gently shifts our relationship with our feelings. Instead of fighting or hiding from emotions, we find a space where they can simply be. This space is the heart of true freedom, the freedom to feel deeply without losing ourselves. It is here that we become truly emotionless, in the sense that we are not controlled or overwhelmed by emotions, but hold them with calm and clarity. In this light, emptiness is not about loneliness or isolation. It is about connection, the knowing that we are part of a vast web of life that includes all beings and experiences. This sense of unity brings compassion, both for ourselves and others. When we see that everyone shares this experience of arising and passing feelings, our hearts open with understanding and kindness. To live with the wisdom of emptiness means to embrace mystery and change without fear. It means letting go of the need to pin everything down, to label everything, or to control the flow of life. It calls us to dance with uncertainty, knowing that in this dance lies our deepest peace. Practices like meditation and contemplation help us touch this reality. Sitting quietly, observing the mind and heart, we glimpse the great emptiness beneath the surface of our busy thoughts and emotions. This glimpse brings relief from the struggle, a softening of tension, and a growing sense of spaciousness. Spaciousness is a beautiful word to describe what emptiness feels like. It is a vast room inside where feelings can move freely without crashing into walls. It is the gentle sky that can hold both sunshine and storms without changing. This spaciousness allows us to move through life with grace and ease. Learning this truth is a gentle unfolding, not a sudden revelation. At first, the mind clings strongly to stories of "I am this" or "I am feeling that." But with patience and kindness, the grip loosens. We begin to find moments of rest in the space between thoughts, between feelings, where emptiness whispers its truth. This path is also a path of great courage. It asks us to face the unknown inside ourselves, to see clearly what arises and what fades, without judgment. This courage is met with reward. A heart unburdened, a mind clear and calm, a life lived fully and freely. The wisdom of emptiness guides us toward a life where emotions do not define or imprison us. It supports the growth of genuine compassion because we understand how deeply connected we are. Our suffering is not ours alone. It belongs to the whole human family. In this understanding, we become more patient and loving, not just with others but with ourselves. We stop fighting our own emotions or feeling ashamed of them. Instead, we welcome them as part of the journey, guests passing through a spacious home. This spacious, empty heart is like a deep valley that can hold rivers and storms without overflowing. It is strong yet gentle, still yet alive, open yet centered. This is the strength that comes from seeing beyond the surface, beyond the labels, to the flowing, interconnected nature of all things. In everyday life, this truth invites us to soften our grip on events and people. We learn to listen more deeply, speak more gently, and act more wisely. We stop reacting from fear or desire and respond with calm clarity. Emptiness frees us from illusions of separateness that breed anxiety and loneliness. It shows us how to walk through the world with open eyes and an open heart, touched but not broken by the dance of emotions. This liberation from attachment to fixed feelings opens the door to true happiness. A happiness not dependent on outside things, but resting securely in the nature of reality itself. It is a happiness that flows from understanding and acceptance, from being at home with life as it is. To embrace emptiness is to become like the sky, vast, limitless, able to hold all weather without anger or fear. It is to become the peaceful one who feels all emotions fully, yet remains unshaken at the core. This peace is the heart of Buddhism's message about becoming emotionless, not as a shutting down, but as a rising up into a higher freedom. It is the gentle clearing of the mind's storms, so that the sun of wisdom can shine through. As we move through this practice, may we all find the spacious, empty heart that embraces life deeply and lovingly, flowing freely like the river and resting peacefully like the sky. This is the true treasure of emptiness, a treasure that frees us from suffering and fills us with boundless love. Within the delicate balance of life, there is a path that Buddhism calls the middle path. This way is neither about extreme detachment, nor about getting lost in emotional waves. It is a gentle, steady journey that invites us to live in harmony, not suppressing our emotions, but not being ruled by them either. The middle path means walking with balance, like a skilled tightrope walker who neither leans too far to one side nor tumbles into the abyss. Often, Life feels like a constant tug-of-war. On one side, we want to hold tightly to joy, success, and comfort. On the other, we fear pain, loss, and suffering, trying to push them away. This struggle creates tension and unrest. The middle path teaches us to lean into the center, embracing life as it unfolds, without clinging, without rejection, without extremes. In Buddhism, this middle ground is the core of the Buddha's awakening. He found that both self-indulgence and harsh denial lead to suffering. Instead, he chose a way of mindful presence and compassionate acceptance. This choice gave birth to a freedom beyond emotional chaos. Living the middle path means developing awareness that is clear and kind. When an emotion appears, we neither suppress it nor allow it to overwhelm us. We hold it lightly, letting it rise and fall like waves on a calm sea. This balance between feeling and letting go is the secret to true peace. Imagine a candle flame flickering gently in the breeze. The flame may dance, but does not burn wildly or go out suddenly. It is steady, alive, and warm. This image reflects the heart of the middle path, steady presence amidst changing feelings. In daily life, practicing this path means noticing emotions as they come and go, without being pulled into drama or shutting down. When anger arises, instead of exploding or hiding it, we acknowledge it and let it pass. When joy blooms, we enjoy it without clinging or fearing its end. This balanced way of living is deeply liberating. We no longer waste energy fighting or chasing emotions. Instead, we flow with life, steady and strong like a tree rooted deeply in the earth, but reaching naturally towards the sky. The middle path also encourages us to avoid judgment. We stop labeling emotions as good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant. Instead, we see them as natural parts of the human experience, neither enemies to battle nor treasures to hoard. With this understanding, our relationships change as well. We become gentler with ourselves and others. When someone is angry or upset, we do not react harshly or retreat, but respond with compassionate presence. This kindness creates space for healing and connection. This path teaches us to be present with all parts of ourselves, the light and the shadow, the joy and the pain. We stop trying to be perfect or free from emotions. Instead, we accept our full humanity with love. The middle path asks for courage too. It requires us to face discomfort without fleeing and to hold happiness lightly without getting lost. This courage grows with practice, nourished by patience and self-compassion. Buddhist teachers often remind us that this path is not a quick fix, but a lifelong dance. A dance between awareness and release, involvement and detachment, effort and ease. Each step invites deeper peace and freedom. In moments of challenge, remembering the middle path helps us find balance again. When emotions become strong, we pause, breathe, and find our center. This practice calms the heart and clears the mind. The middle path also leads to wisdom. As we balance our inner world, we begin to see life more clearly. Illusions fade, and we understand that pain and pleasure, loss and gain, are part of a larger cycle. This clarity helps us live with greater freedom and joy. We discover that true happiness is not tied to circumstances, but flows from the heart's steady calmness. The beauty of the middle path is its simplicity and practicality. It is not a lofty idea, but a way to live fully and peacefully here and now, among everyday struggles and joys. As we walk this path, we nurture a gentle strength that faces life with courage and kindness. Our emotions no longer toss us like a boat in a storm. Instead, we navigate gracefully through waves, guided by inner balance. This balance is a gift we offer ourselves, a gift of peace in a world often filled with extremes. It is a return to our natural state, where heart and mind are aligned and life flows smoothly. The middle path leads us to embrace imperfection and change with open arms. We learn to dance with life's rhythms, neither resisting nor clinging, but moving gracefully through each moment. In this way, becoming emotionless is not about losing feeling, but about gaining freedom. Freedom to experience emotions without being enslaved by them. Freedom to return always to a calm, centered place within. This freedom grows quietly, but surely as we practice. It becomes a warm light within, guiding us through joy and sorrow alike, inviting us to live with peace and gentle strength. May this middle path guide you gently, helping your heart balance with wisdom and your mind rest in calm, as you move through life with grace and clear awareness. This is the heart of true liberation, the art of being steady and free amidst life's ever-changing dance. In the quiet moments when an emotion suddenly erupts, it often feels like being caught in a strong current, pulled by waves of anger, fear, or sadness that seem too powerful to resist. Many of us have been swept away by these feelings, acting in ways we later regret, or feeling lost in a storm of emotion that drowns our peace. But there is a path, taught by the gentle wisdom of Buddhism, that guides us to shift this experience. It is the path of replacing reaction with awareness. When we react to emotions, we usually do so unconsciously. A trigger, a harsh word, a difficult situation, a painful memory, sets off a chain reaction inside our minds. We may lash out quickly, withdraw silently, or become overwhelmed by fear or worry. This automatic response is like a fire spreading rapidly before we can control it. It is not who we truly are. It is a habit born from past conditioning. Awareness is the gentle pause between the trigger and the reaction, the space where freedom begins. This space is like the calm eye of a storm, still and clear amid the swirling winds. When we cultivate awareness, we learn to see emotions as they arise instead of being instantly carried away by them. This shift does not happen overnight. It grows slowly, like sunshine nudging a flower to bloom. At first, we may notice a flash of anger and become aware of it just a moment before it bursts forth. That tiny pause is a doorway, small but powerful. Awareness invites us to meet emotions with curiosity, rather than judgment or fear. When anger arises, instead of calling it bad or pushing it down, we observe. Here is anger. We notice how the body feels, perhaps heat in the chest or tightness in the jaw. We notice how the mind reacts, thoughts racing or wanting to escape. Simply watching these sensations softens their intensity. This simple act of witnessing transforms emotions from masters into teachers. When we are aware, emotions no longer command our actions. We can choose how to respond, instead of being driven by old patterns. Choosing how to respond is a gift of freedom. Instead of shouting when angry, we might speak quietly or breathe deeply. Instead of fleeing when afraid, we might stay present and seek understanding. Instead of being crushed by sadness, we might allow ourselves to feel and heal. Awareness also helps us see the impermanence of emotions. We begin to realize that anger, fear, or joy are not permanent states, but waves that come and go. This realization further weakens their hold on us. In daily life, practicing awareness requires kindness and patience. The mind often tries to rush back into reactions, and emotions may seem urgent or overwhelming. But each time we gently return to awareness, we train the mind to respond with calmness and clarity. Buddhism offers many tools to support this practice. Meditation, especially mindfulness meditation, helps us develop the skill of watching emotions without getting caught. By sitting quietly and focusing on the breath or body sensations, we build a habit of presence that carries over into moments of strong feelings. Another helpful practice is mindful inquiry, asking gentle questions like, "What am I feeling right now?" Or "What does this emotion want to teach me?" This turns emotions into messengers, guiding us to deeper understanding rather than enemies to evade. Replacing reaction with awareness also opens the door to compassion. When we recognize our own struggles with difficult emotions, we become gentler with ourselves. This self-compassion ripples outward, touching those around us. In relationships, awareness transforms conflict. When a harsh word triggers anger or hurt, instead of reacting immediately, awareness allows space for listening and understanding. This space can heal wounds and build stronger, kinder connections. Over time, awareness deepens the experience of being truly alive. Emotions are no longer foreign forces, but familiar waves in the ocean of awareness. They come and go, but beneath them lies a vast and peaceful presence. This presence is the heart of becoming emotionless in the true Buddhist sense. Not dull or numb, but free from the enslavement of reactive emotions. It is a mind that remains calm and clear while fully experiencing life's richness. Such freedom is not about avoiding emotions, but about embracing them skillfully. We learn to dance with feelings rather than being trampled by them. This dance brings balance, clarity, and peace. The practice of awareness also reveals the interconnectedness of all things. When we see emotions arise, we understand the causes and conditions that shape them. Our past experiences, the present moment, and the world around us. This wider vision fosters wisdom and detachment. Detachment here does not mean indifference. It means not clinging to emotions or pushing them away, but allowing them to move naturally through the mind and heart. In this way, awareness becomes a powerful bridge, connecting understanding with action, feeling with freedom, the inner world with the outer world. The journey to replace reaction with awareness is a gentle awakening. It asks for courage, not the rush of bravery, but the quiet strength to be present with whatever arises. Each moment of awareness, each choice to respond instead of react, is a step toward a life where emotions no longer control us. It is a step toward becoming truly free, truly peaceful. May this gentle practice inspire a warm light within your heart, a light that watches emotions with kindness, stands firm in the storm, and shines with deep, unshakable calm. This light is the true path to becoming emotionless, free, awake, and fully alive. In the journey to becoming truly free from the sway of emotions, one arrives at the gentle strength called equanimity. This word, equanimity, speaks of a heart calm and steady, able to hold joy and sorrow, praise and blame, peace and turmoil without being shaken. It is a precious gift, like a quiet lake that reflects the sky without being disturbed by passing clouds. Equanimity is not something we are born with. Like all things worth having, it is cultivated slowly with care, like tending a small seedling until it grows into a strong tree. It is the result of kindness, mindfulness, and wisdom growing together in the heart. Many people think equanimity means not caring or becoming indifferent. But this is not true. Equanimity is a deep caring that stands free from the ups and downs of emotion. It is love without clinging, presence without distraction. It is being open to life just as it is, without turning away or collapsing in suffering. Imagine a beautiful tree standing tall through every season. In spring, it blossoms with vibrant flowers. In summer, it offers shade and fruit. In autumn, its leaves change color and fall. In winter, It stands bare but still alive, waiting for the next cycle. This tree's steady presence is like equanimity in the human heart, accepting change without losing its center. The Buddha taught equanimity as one of the 4 divine qualities, a perfect mind balanced in joy and sorrow alike. It is the heart's peaceful armor, protecting us not by shutting off feelings, but by holding them with gentle strength. How does one cultivate this precious equanimity? It begins with mindfulness, watching emotions closely without being carried away. We learn to meet pain and pleasure with the same gentle attention. When a difficult feeling arises, instead of pushing it away or being overwhelmed, we greet it as a guest. This greeting softens the harsh edges of suffering. Slowly, we find that pain does not have to pull us down completely, and joy does not have to make us dizzy. Both come, both go, and we remain steady. Equanimity also grows from understanding impermanence, that emotions are not fixed or permanent, but passing waves in the vast ocean of awareness. This insight loosens the grip of strong feelings and invites peace. When we practice equanimity, the mind becomes spacious and tolerant. It stops fighting what is and flows naturally with life's rhythms. This is not resignation but freedom, a freedom that loves fully without being trapped. In daily life, equanimity shows up in small ways. When someone says harsh words, we may feel hurt but not bitter. When success fades or challenges arise, we face them without panic or despair. We move through days with a calm heart that can weather any storm. This calmness is a source of great power. It allows us to act with clarity and kindness rather than anger or fear. When the mind is balanced, we choose wisely and respond with compassion. Equanimity also deepens our relationships. When we hold ourselves with gentle steadiness, we can hold others with the same kindness. Conflicts soften, and understanding deepens. We create space for healing and connection. Yet equanimity is not a perfect state we reach and keep forever. It ebbs and flows like the ocean tide. There are moments of imbalance, strong waves of emotion that challenge our calm. But even in these moments, equanimity can be found in the willingness to be present and open, to let feelings pass like clouds. This openness is a great gift to ourselves. It frees us from the exhausting cycle of emotional highs and lows. It gives rest to the mind and warmth to the heart. Cultivating equanimity is also an act of great compassion toward ourselves. Often, we are harsh judges of our feelings, blaming ourselves for pain or weakness. Equanimity invites us to soften this judgment, to forgive our humanity, and to embrace ourselves with love. As equanimity deepens, it reveals a profound truth about life, that joy and sorrow are intertwined threads in the fabric of experience. Without pain, joy would not be sweet. Without loss, love would not shine so bright. This wise seeing brings humility and grace. We stop striving for constant happiness or perfect control. Instead, we rest in the gentle balance of being fully human, fallible, vulnerable, yet endlessly resilient. Equanimity also opens the door to deeper spiritual growth. It allows the heart to settle into a quiet confidence, free from the disturbances of emotional turmoil. This settled mind can touch the profound peace that Buddhism calls nirvana, not a place but a state of liberation. Walking this path requires patience, kindness, and courage. It asks us to meet each moment with open arms, whether it holds joy or pain. Each step nourishes the tree of inner peace, helping its roots grow deep and strong. In moments of stillness, reflecting on equanimity, we glimpse the vast ocean of calm beneath life's surface waves. This ocean holds us steady through storms and sunshine, welcoming all with gentle strength. May your heart grow this precious equanimity, a calm lake reflecting life's beauty without being disturbed by passing clouds. May you meet every emotion with warmth and steadiness, walking freely the path of peace and true freedom. In the vast and gentle flow of life, there is a pattern that often repeats itself, a cycle built on emotions and actions, weaving the fabric of our experience. This cycle, called karma in Buddhism, links our feelings, thoughts, and choices in a continuous chain. Sometimes, this chain can trap us in repeating patterns of pain, sorrow, and emotional turmoil. But with wisdom and mindfulness, we can break free from this cycle and find a new way of being. This cycle begins with feelings: joy, anger, fear, desire. These feelings push us to act, often in ways that reinforce the same emotions again and again. For example, when we feel hurt, we may resist or lash out, creating more pain for ourselves and others. When we act without awareness, our habits take control. This creates a river of reactions flowing endlessly. Understanding this cycle is the first step toward freedom. Buddhism teaches that emotions are not random, but arise due to causes and conditions. When we grasp the causes, we find the power to change the effects. Imagine a bird trapped in a cage. The cage represents emotional karma, habits and reactions built over time. The bird longs for freedom, but keeps fluttering against the bars. Breaking free requires more than struggling. It needs a key. This key is mindfulness and awareness, the tools that help us understand the cage and open its door. Breaking the cycle means learning to pause and watch emotions instead of reacting immediately. This simple pause is powerful. It interrupts old habits and opens space for new choices. For instance, when anger surfaces, instead of reacting with aggression or silence, we notice the feeling, breathe, and respond with calm. This new response weakens the old pattern and helps us build a peaceful habit. Buddhism invites us to look deeply into our emotional patterns with compassion. Often, these habits arise from past wounds, fears, or misunderstandings. Recognizing this softens our judgment and opens the heart to healing. This healing isn't just about feeling better, but about freeing ourselves from being controlled by past pains or automatic reactions. It means becoming aware that we are not our emotions but the awareness behind them. Breaking the cycle also involves understanding desire and aversion, the longing for pleasure and the pushing away of pain, which fuel many emotional patterns. When we stop feeding these forces with attachment or resistance, the cycle slows and breaks. This new way doesn't deny emotions or make us numb. Instead, it invites a fresh relationship where we live with emotions skillfully, choosing peace over chaos. Daily practices support this transformation. Meditation, for example, trains the mind to watch thoughts and feelings clearly and without judgment. Each session is a step toward freeing the heart from emotional traps. Another practice is loving kindness meditation, which heals emotional wounds by cultivating compassion for ourselves and others. This gentle love dissolves bitterness and opens the heart's door wide. As we break free from emotional karma, we find ourselves less reactive and more present. Our lives become calmer, relationships kinder, and hearts lighter. This freedom brings clarity. We begin to see how emotions influence decisions and how conscious choice shapes our future. We become creators of our experience, not prisoners. The path is gradual and sometimes challenging. Old patterns can be persistent, and emotions may surge like waves. But with patience, kindness, and steady practice, the cage's bars soften and eventually fall away. breaking this cycle opens doors to a life where emotions flow without trapping us. We learn to ride the waves without sinking, to dance with feelings without losing ourselves. This awakening also reveals a beautiful truth: the interconnectedness of all beings through shared experience. When we heal our emotional karma, we contribute to the healing of others and the world. This interconnected healing plants seeds of peace that grow beyond us, touching those around like ripples on a calm pond. The cycle of emotional karma is powerful, but not immutable. It can be changed with conscious living, mindfulness, and compassion. We hold within us the key to open the cage and step into true freedom. Each moment of awareness, each choice to respond with kindness rather than reaction, breaks a link in the chain, like a gentle wind that slowly clears a cloudy sky. These moments bring light and peace. Embracing this teaching, may we all find the strength to break free from seemingly endless cycles of suffering. May we open our hearts and minds to the promise of new beginnings, of love unbound, peace found, and the joy of living truly free. There is a gentle strength, quiet yet powerful, that grows naturally when the heart learns to hold both compassion and detachment. This strength is a treasure found on the path to becoming truly free from being tossed by the storms of emotion. It is the silent power of compassionate detachment, a way of being that embraces others deeply while remaining rooted in peace within. At first, these words may seem to contradict each other. How can one be both compassionate and detached? To care deeply and yet not be overwhelmed? But in the heart of Buddhist wisdom, this union of compassion and detachment is the very essence of true freedom. Compassion is the softening of the heart toward the suffering of others and ourselves. It is not pity or distance, but an open embrace, recognizing that pain is part of life's shared journey. Compassion moves us to kindness, generosity, and understanding. It is a warm light that connects all beings. Detachment, on the other hand, is the art of not clinging, of holding life lightly without grasping or pushing away. It is not indifference, but freedom from being controlled by craving or fear. Detachment allows the heart to stay calm and steady, even in the face of challenges. When compassion and detachment join, they create a balance, a strong, steady heart that can love fully without losing itself. This balance is like a tree rooted deeply in the earth, but reaching freely toward the sky. The roots provide stability. The branches reach out with warmth and grace. Imagine standing by a vast ocean, feeling the tender breeze and hearing the waves. Compassion is the breeze, the gentle touch of care that reaches all. Detachment is the shore, the solid ground that does not move with every wave but holds steady. Together, they create a place of peace and connection. Without compassionate detachment, compassion alone can become overwhelming. To feel all the pain of the world deeply without balance may leave the heart heavy and exhausted. Without compassion, detachment can become cold or distant, disconnected from the warmth of life. Buddhism teaches that compassionate detachment is the path to true loving kindness. Love that neither clings nor rejects but embraces life as it is. It frees us from being trapped by our desires or fears while opening our hearts to the suffering and joy of others. This way of being is not about shutting down or hiding from the world. It is about engaging fully, with a heart wide open and a mind steady and clear. It lets us care deeply and act wisely without losing balance. How do we cultivate compassionate detachment? It begins with mindfulness and self-awareness, the gentle practice of noticing our feelings and reactions without being swept away. When strong emotions arise, we observe them with kindness, allowing them to flow without grasping. At the same time, we cultivate compassion by seeing clearly the common human experience of pain and joy. We recognize that everyone, including ourselves, carries burdens and hopes. This shared understanding softens judgment and opens the door to kindness. Meditation practices, such as loving kindness meditation, help nurture this balance. They invite us to send warm wishes of peace and happiness to ourselves and all beings, even those who cause pain or seem distant. This practice deepens our heart's capacity for compassion while grounding us in peaceful awareness. Compassionate detachment also shines in the way we face life's challenges. When difficulties arise, instead of losing ourselves in worry or despair, we meet them with calm acceptance and caring. This strength allows us to respond with clarity and kindness rather than reactivity. In relationships, this balance is a precious gift. We learn to love without clinging, to support without controlling, to listen without judgment. This creates space for true connection and healing. This way of being extends beyond our personal lives, inspiring acts of kindness in the world. When we hold compassionate detachment, our actions come from a place of genuine care and clear vision. We give without expectation and serve without losing ourselves. This silent strength is a wellspring of peace. It nourishes the heart during storms and keeps it open to joy. It brings freedom from the roller coaster of emotions and the calm that embraces all beings. Yet, this path requires patience and humility. The mind often pulls us toward extremes, either losing ourselves in emotion or shutting down. The journey toward compassionate detachment is one of gentle practice, returning again and again to balance. Each moment we choose kindness over judgment, calm over chaos, presence over distraction, we strengthen this silent strength. Slowly, it becomes our natural state, a warm light that guides us steadily through life. This state is the heart of true freedom. Not a cold emptiness, but a rich spaciousness filled with loving awareness. It is a place where emotions flow freely, but do not overwhelm, where the heart remains both soft and strong. May your heart grow this silent strength of compassionate detachment, a steady warmth that embraces the world with open arms, yet is rooted deep in peace. Through this balance, may you walk freely and kindly, living fully in the radiant light of true liberation. Have you ever felt weighed down by your emotions, as though they chain you to endless cycles of joy and sorrow, hope and fear? What if there was a way to live fully, deeply, and freely, without being tossed about by every wave that comes? This is the promise found at the end of the path, the true freedom that Buddhist wisdom shares. Living free beyond emotions. To live free beyond emotions does not mean becoming numb or unmoved. It means finding a place inside, a quiet sanctuary, where the storms of feelings do not enslave us. It is a place of calm clarity where joy and pain arise like visitors, welcomed but not begged to stay against their will. This freedom is the gentle art of being present without being captive. Imagine a vast sky, sometimes clear, sometimes clouded, sometimes lit by the sun or pierced by the rain. The sky remains unchanged by weather. It is spacious, open, and free. Our true nature is like this sky, holding all experiences but untouched by them. To become free beyond emotions is to awaken to this inner sky. The journey to this freedom is a gradual unfolding, a lifelong dance of awareness, compassion, patience, and courage. Throughout this path, we cultivate mindfulness to see emotions as they arise and pass, wisdom to understand their impermanent nature, and kindness to embrace ourselves and others gently. It is natural to resist painful emotions or cling to pleasant ones, But true freedom comes when we learn to meet each feeling with openness. Fear softens when met with courage. Anger loses its fire when met with calm. Joy becomes a deep light when not grasped too tightly. This balance transforms life's challenges into teachers. Difficult moments invite growth. Gratitude blooms in the soil of acceptance. The heart unfolds to its fullest, revealing a boundless capacity for peace and love. Living free beyond emotions also changes how we relate to the world. We no longer act from reaction, but from conscious choice. This clarity brings harmony in relationships and inner serenity. Yet, this freedom is not about perfection. There will be days when emotions flood in like sudden storms. On those days, the practice is to return to presence gently, with patience and kindness, knowing that the sky within is always vast enough to hold any weather. In these moments, the wisdom of impermanence and the strength of detachment guide us back to peace. We learn that no feeling defines who we truly are. The light of this freedom is not distant or rare. It shines within each breath, each heartbeat, each moment if we choose to see. It is the quiet, steady flame that burns bright even in the darkest night. This flame is kindled through simple acts. A breath taken mindfully, a moment of kindness given, an emotion watched without judgment. Each of these steps leads us closer to a life where freedom is experienced deeply, daily, and fully. As this freedom grows, our hearts expand with compassion for all beings, knowing that everyone walks their own path through the ocean of feelings. We offer kindness not from obligation, but from a wellspring of genuine care. This radiant freedom invites us to live with purpose and joy, grounded in the present, yet open to the unfolding mystery of life. It calls us to embrace all parts of our experience, the light and the shadow, the laughter and the tears. May this journey awaken within you the spaciousness of the inner sky, the calm depth of the ocean, and the steady warmth of the sun. May you live free beyond emotions, not detached from life, but fully alive in a heart open, peaceful, and deeply free. Before you go, remember that there are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your support lights the path for many seeking peace and wisdom. Walk gently on this beautiful path of freedom, and let your heart be your guide, steady, kind, and free.